Guys, Michael here with Hello Cupcake, it's me, and today I want to talk about surviving the COVID-19 lockdown with depression and some of the things that I do to help myself cope with depression, and especially right now where we're all basically on adult restriction. We're only allowed to do things that our parents think that we can do or whatever else. So yeah, if you're new to this channel, let me give you a little backstory on myself. In 2010, I was diagnosed with several different mental health issues. More namely, suicidal ideation, depression, and bipolar syndrome, as well as male irritable syndrome. Growing up, I always had these really dramatic mood swings, and everyone just thought, oh, it's because he's young, or because he's tired, or because he's just a kid being a brat, so on and so forth. But as I got older, I started noticing that these things were progressing more and more and more frequently. And I didn't have some of the social cues that other people did. So it was very much, if it came to mind, it came to mouth type of situation for me. And during that time period of growing up, and really from the age of 18 to about 25 is when I started really noticing that this was not the norm, that this was not how people acted or reacted to things. I would be watching cartoons with my friends, they would all be laughing, and I would be crying. Now, I don't know if this is some psychological childhood trauma that happened during this particular cartoon or whatever else, but I didn't have the same reactions that people should have. As a teenager, especially going through puberty from about 12 to 14, I used to do that deep belly laughter whenever somebody got hurt. Like, if someone got injured, my first reaction wasn't, oh my god, are you okay? It was, just maniacal laughter. So that progressed into my adult years when I started working, and I worked retail for a trillion years before I started doing at-home stuff, and then finally when I was put on medical retirement in 2012 due to my mental health and some other physical health aspects. So when I was at work and having these manic episodes, you can't do that in a work environment. And so it always caused me a lot of problems and a lot of issues with my superiors and with the people who are, my bosses or whatever else. And especially, if a customer sees that and sees you having a bipolar fit, they don't understand that that's what that is. They just see, oh my god, this guy is a complete asshole, and I'm never shopping there again. So I started looking for help as early as 2005. That's when I could really recall the first steps that I took looking for help. And during that time, I feel like in my life that I wasn't able to get the help that I needed because I didn't know what to ask for, or if that makes any sense. I didn't know the steps that I needed to take. I just knew that I had to talk to a doctor, and when I talked to my doctor, I told him, listen, this is what's going on, blah, blah. So fast forward it to 2010 when I finally get my diagnosis with those issues. It really made a lot of sense to me that, okay, now that I know that I have a label, let me go ahead and fix this. So, my whole life, I had always done these things to try to help cope with myself. So, this is some of the things that I did. Number one is, for me, I took up arts and crafts. And I am a very artistic person. I love painting, making things, so on and so forth. As you can see in the background over here, those are some pictures I've done. They're not artistic quality or even professional quality, but they're stuff that I've done that means a lot to me. And each one of those pictures helped me through a different aspect of my life. And when artistic stuff doesn't help me, I listen to music. Now, sometimes the music will vary from like Marilyn Manson to gospel to everything in between, you know. My playlist is extremely bipolar. It's like Marilyn Manson, Fiona Apple, Nine Inch Nails, techno, Dixieland. You know, it's just all over the place because that's how my moods fluctuate. And so there's been times where I combine two things to try to help me get through it. So a lot of times I will listen to the radio or to music or what have you and be painting, and I will use the emotions that I am having to solicit this new project or whatever. So those are two things that I used to do. Now, as a teenager, I used to write poetry, and I had a huge folder like that thick filled with poetry, like most teenagers do, about how they don't fit in and how I'm longing for this person because I'm absolutely in love with them and infatuated with them, you know, teenage hormone stuff, and so on and so forth. So I took that creative writing and kind of translated it into something more physical and like my paintings, or there was a while there that I was really into sculpture and working with clay and stuff like that. So those are two things that I normally do to kind of help me try to change my mindset or get me out of that, because if I'm listening to the music, then I'm listening to the words, focusing on the words, singing along. Trust me, I'm not any Beyonce or anyone else like that. My singing probably drives away spirits because it's that god-awful. But, you know, everyone is a rock star in the shower or in their own car or whatever else. And I'm tone deaf and pitch deaf and all that other stuff. I cannot carry a tune. So, you know, that's the one thing that I hate about myself in that regards. But so singing along, dancing, doing whatever to try to get myself out of that mood. The third thing that I do, if the artistic aspect doesn't work out and the music doesn't work out, is I will try to get outside for a little while. Just recently, within the last couple of years, I received a car, and now I have freedom to come and go as I please. Beforehand, I had to take the city bus and public transport and all this other stuff, which isn't bad, you know. It still got me out of the house. It's just like when I was ready to go home, it was a huge production to get back home. So, you know, if options 1 and options 2 don't work, then option 3 usually worked, because I would go do window shopping retail therapy, because a lot of times I didn't have money, and I don't have money a lot of times because I'm on Social Security disability, so I'm on SSDI, and I'm only allotted like a few $100s a month, and 99% of my income goes to my household expenses. and I'm not going to get into like exact dollar amounts right now because I've done that in previous videos, but I'm just letting you know that this is, you know, things that I've done and what goes on from there. So if being creative doesn't work, if listening to music doesn't work, and if getting out of my situation doesn't work, then the fourth thing that I will do is that's when I will kind of self-medicate, as it were. I will put myself to sleep. I will go in and take a nap and lay in bed, and even if I'm not tired, I will force myself to go to sleep. And typically when I wake up after that nap is when I'm feeling so much better and just like, wow, okay, this is, you know, the worst is gone. Now let's deal with the rest of the day, as it were. Around 2009, 2010 is when I started Hello Cupcake. It's me. I needed a way to have an outlet to talk about my feelings, my depression, my bipolar, my struggles with weight loss, my just everyday BS. Now, I know not every single person out there is capable of making videos or even really has the means to make a video and upload it to YouTube. Currently, right now, I am using a smartphone to record this on, and then later I will transfer it over to my computer and then upload it after doing some editing and stuff like that. It in itself is a huge production, but I feel that it is a good means for me to really let go of some of the anger and the negativity and just whatever happens to be bothering me, just to vocalize it. Even though there's no one else here in the house with me except for my cat, you know, just being able to voice it and hear it hit my own ears a lot of times helps. So that's where my fifth thing comes into play, is if the nap doesn't work, then vocalizing. And this is something that I taught myself to do, and I never knew that this was an actual psychology trick that therapists or whatever else prescribe to people or tell people to even try to do. But if I'm mad at someone, I will envision the person standing in front of me, and I will talk to them like they are there, and I will just unload on them everything that I'm feeling, everything that I am internalizing right then at that time. And that's a technique that I didn't learn until later on in life. You know, I'm 39 now. I just turned 39 on March 16th. So, you know, happy belated birthday to me. We have the coronavirus lockdown. Woo! But anyways, moving on from there. Making these videos is very cathartic for me, and it's a way for me to just open my life and kind of open a vein and publicly put it out there. And you know, there's been times where I've gotten some serious backlash for the videos that I've done. If you look back in my history of videos, about 6 or 7 years ago now, I made a video called Social Security and Low-Income Housing. It has to date been one of the biggest and most viewed videos that I've ever done, and has been one of the biggest pains in the asses, because for every person that video has helped, it has spawned so much hate mail from just various internet trolls. And I have addressed myself more than once on that video in the comments section, and I got to the point where I don't even respond to the comments anymore. If they're negative and abusive and troll worthy, I mark them as abuse and spam and hate mail, and I send it off to YouTube and let them deal with it, and then I block the person from my channel. I've also been told by my family that I overshare and that I sometimes say things that I probably shouldn't. Well, you know, when you are trying to do things for your own mental health and to make yourself feel better, you know, you've got to do whatever you can to make yourself feel better. Now, that is a slippery slope because I'm not advocating like drug use by saying, you know, do whatever you can to make yourself feel better. I'm saying productive things like taking a walk, doing some pictures, painting, doing whatever. That's what I mean by doing whatever you need to do to help yourself. For me, I'm a very communicative person. I never used to be so outspoken and verbal. Um, my whole life, I've been bullied and harassed and belittled and berated, and um, it was a very specific moment in my life. It was American history, 10th grade year, where I blew up and something snapped in me, and from that day forward I really did change. The captain of the football team was talking some mad shit to me and just trying to like really get my goat and all this other stuff, and I stopped the teacher mid lecture by me just exploding on him and yelling at him and his bitch of a girlfriend who was the varsity cheerleader, and me and her had it out several different times in my high school history. But I just, the only thing that I can remember really saying to him after all of these years was, who the hell are you in my life to try to make me feel this way? You are at the pinnacle of your life right now, and in 10, 15, 20 years, you are going to be a broke person just living on the couch with a whole bunch of kids that you really don't want to have, stuck in a loveless relationship. I said, see how that feels? You know my name. You don't know my story. You only know the crap that is said on school campus or whatever. Yeah, I'm not a rich person. I don't have the best clothes. I am kind of quirky. I'm weird. This, that, and the other thing, blah, blah. And so anyways, at the end of it, I'm like, you know, so whatever your issue is with me, fuck you. That's on you. Leave me alone. Quit talking to me. And the whole time, I'm watching my teacher out of the corner of my eye, and he's just sitting up there like... Because all my teachers throughout high school, and, well, elementary, junior high, high school, you know, all of that shit, they all saw this bullying, but we didn't have the advocacy of the anti-bullying that we have now, because kids can't handle people talking to them like that, so they shoot themselves, or they shoot up the schools, or they do whatever else. So do what you have to do in order to make things better for you. With this COVID-19 bullshit going on right now, we are all under a lockdown and on restriction and social distancing for people who suffer with bipolar, mental health, depression, all this other stuff. It's extremely hard on us. So if you are watching this video right now and you know somebody who is depressed or has these mental health issues, check up on us, okay? It's not... We may come across as being bothered, but honestly, I promise you, I can probably speak for 90% of the mental health community when I say checking up on us may sound like you're bothering us, but at the end of the day, we are thankful for you checking up on us. If you yourself suffer with mental health issues and depression, know that there's people out there who do truly honestly love you. Don't listen to the demons in your head. You are not isolated. You are cared for. Yeah, we are self-isolating and we are supposed to social distance ourselves and be isolated during this time, but at the end of the day, you yourself are not isolated. You yourself are not alone. The people in your life do love you and do care about you and are there for you. If you don't feel like you have anyone in your life that you can talk to, and you're feeling suicidal or like you want to hurt yourself, there are numbers and people that you can reach out to that can and will help you. And know that you are not alone in this struggle. We are all here together. I know that right now we're not supposed to go outside and we're not supposed to do these certain things or whatever, but like I said, you've got to do what you can to help yourself. So if that means going outside and mowing the yard, or just taking a walk, or just even sitting outside with a glass of iced tea and listening to the radio, a lot of times that helps. Just do whatever you can to make it through this time period. Hopefully we get it all situated and that this is not the new norm and that our lives can go back to, whatever they were before this. Like, for me, the biggest thing that I miss right now is just being able to go to Goodwill because it's 2 o'clock on a Tuesday morning. Or, 2 o'clock on a Tuesday afternoon. I miss being able to do stupid, simple stuff like that. Just recently, within the last 6 months, I started going to the bar every Thursday night. I'm not a drinker, but I go to the bar every Thursday night because they have 50-cent chicken wings. So I go to the bar, I'll get a couple of chicken wings as my budget dictates, and I will have a glass of soda, or my typical drink is cranberry juice. And the reason I like the cranberry juice is because it looks like a mixed drink at the bar, but it complements the flavors of the chicken wings, and there's a whole fat boy science behind the reason I go for those flavors. But that had become part of my social activities. It was my one time a week where I got out and I socialized with other people who weren't my family or my immediate friends. And a lot of times I would meet my friends there at the bar, but there would be that extended circle of acquaintances that's the only time that I got to see. And so it started becoming a big part of my life and a big part of my week. Like, I would look forward to Thursdays just so that I could get out and go see people and whatever. So, do what you got to do during this time period, but know that we are all in this together and we're going to make it. And do not harm yourself. Call the national hotlines. I'm going to leave a link to them in the section down below, as well as what I have put up on the screen already. But, there are people out there. Get on Facebook. Talk to people. There's a lot of free apps, both for Android and for Apple, that allow for peer counseling to happen. There's this one on Android, I think it's called TheraKeeper. Therapeer. And I'll leave a link in the comment section down below. But with that app, you go into a virtual chat room and it's all peer counseling. It's people just like me, just like you, who are sitting around talking to each other, trying to help each other out. There are some actual licensed peer counselors, but 9 times out of 10, it's just a group of people sitting around talking about what's going on in their lives and what's going on with them, and just trying to talk it all out. It's a free service. It's amazing. I've used it several times over the last couple of months, just trying to um, reach out to more like-minded people. But anyways, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up now, but just know that we are all in this together, and try finding what works for you. And, that's something else. What works for you when you are in the thralls of your depression or whatever else? I would love to hear from you. Put it in the comment section down below. So, guys, as always, thank you so very much for watching my videos. If you are new here, please hit the like and subscribe button and that little bell icon to let you know whenever I've uploaded new content. And if you'd like to reach out to me, you could do so. hellocupcakeitsme@gmail.com. And I also have a blog, hellocupcakeitsme.com, where I post a lot of just my inner musings. So a lot of times I'll post stuff on the blog that I don't post anywhere on my social media. And if you would like to just kind of follow me on my day-to-day life, you can follow me on Instagram and just look for Michael Scott Peterson. That's with a S-O-N, not S-E-N. And yeah, so I will talk to you all later. Bye, guys.